Hey everyone, it is Elsid932 on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. This is going to be Love is Blind Minnesota's reunion recap. Please take a moment before I give my, how can I say it? My unpopular opinion on this reunion. Because I got a different angle. Hit that like, hit that notification bell because we have another Love is Blind season coming up at the end of this week. We start off with, we know, Taylor and Daniel, the only couple to get married this season, are still married. They're still happily married. They say they do love each other, and they talk about how kind the other is, how the family has certainly blended very well and supporting each other. He has gotten a tattoo of her eyes on his chest. Now, I don't subscribe to getting a tattoo of name or anything of a significant other, but do you? Okay? But how would you feel seeing your eyes looking back at you on your person's chest? I just found that a little strange to me, but I don't want me looking back at me. I need a mirror for that. So it's a little odd. He can't really see it unless he looks down, and it doesn't look the same from that view. So that was a little strange to me. But I digress. They happy? We happy for them. Next, we see Devin and Virginia. Virginia says she loves Devin a lot, but they're not in alignment. She's not going to tell you what his core values are, but she's going to clarify hers. And she just said they're not in alignment. So guess what? You just told everybody his views without telling his views. Come on, Virginia. That was a pageant roundabout answer if I heard one. Come on, girl. You can do better than that. You threw him under the bus by saying, oh, that's not actually a bus coming, but step out the way. Virginia, I also noticed that your voice is deeper. I don't hear the, hey, Devin. Oh my gosh, Devin. Virginia, you got some bass in your voice, like the bass we heard when we met your mother. So all that was fake. I'm sorry, Virginia. All that was pageant fake. I'm sorry. Devin will accept that you love him, so I guess I will have to accept it. And you've said it, but I don't know. I don't believe it. You threw him under the bus, and the voice threw him under the bus. She said they got there emotionally, but their lives were not aligned. Devin says he can look, past things. They can be together and don't have to be 100% the same. He can love everyone, but still not agree on everything with their life. So I understand that, Devin. I totally agree with that. I don't agree with all my friends, and I certainly don't agree with my spouse all the time. We're not aligned on everything. So there can be differences. Now, how much of those differences people are willing to accept depends on them and their relationship. So Virginia says the little signs leading up to the wedding is what did it for her. She saw a note from an ex-girlfriend, with no mention of seeing that ex, and Devin was like, hey, she's one of his best friends. She's part of the wedding group. Virginia met her, and the letter was about how proud she is of him and how happy she is for them and where he is. So Virginia, that was a dig that didn't land. Why you need to dig? If you met this girl and you knew why you knew she was in a wedding party, why is it a problem now? You should have spoken up about that back then. But it seems like you were doing little things to try and embarrass him and bring him down. Somebody you profess to love. I'm sorry. So Virginia said his mom told her 3 or 4 days before the wedding about the check as a gift. Devin did not tell her about that check, y'all. So Devin has to speak up and says, hey, he was holding it until they got married. He said he would not hide stuff from her if, they became married. But Virginia, you have a prenup. You have a prenup that should be delineating all of this. So why is this an issue? Now, Devin, even before, you don't just flip a switch and decide you're going to tell your wife. All of a sudden, she's your wife and you tell her everything. You got to practice this early. So you should have told her about the check. Say, hey, my parents are going to hold on to it, or I'm going to hold on to it until we actually get married. Then we could certainly deposit that into a mutual wedding account or marriage account, whatever y'all say. But you should tell her that before. And discuss with her, hey, if we don't get married, I'm going to return this check to this person. Granted, it's not of our business, but at least you should have told her. So She said she made a big deal of his birthday. She did a whole bunch of very thoughtful things for him. She wanted his help, and he didn't help her. Okay. He said he does feel great about Virginia. She says she never felt the love or seen this side of Devin this last year. Now, y'all, Devin never interrupts her. He lets her say all that she got to say, but she interrupts Devin. She interrupts Devin when he's trying to make a point, and she, was like, oh my God, like giving comic relief to the crowd. So then it takes away from the focus from Devin, takes away from what he has to say. And I'm like, Virginia, this is now looking performative. I had you back in the beginning, but you really pulled me all the way back to this reunion. So she's like, you never answered my calls. He's like, I did. We had multiple conversations, but it always ended up like this, arguing. So, okay, I didn't hear Virginia disagree with that aspect of it. She did not disagree that they end up arguing. So Devin says, he didn't ghost her. She says she felt like she was ghosted. Then Molly and Madison pop up and said Devin told them in the bar that, Virginia ghosted him. Y'all gonna see Molly and Madison popping up in all kinds of stuff and getting into all kinds of business. Y'all need to focus on your own lives, your own single lives over there, okay? Devin says every time we talk, it's an argument. The conversations were not leading to anything, so that's why he kind of stopped speaking to her, I guess. So, y'all, here's my thing with the whole Love is Blind. If we keep on doing this at the reunion with the ladies coming at the men and the men not able to vocalize, there won't be many men who want to go on this show. Men with genuine feelings, men who genuinely want to get married. You may end up with the, hey, I just want to pop off on the internet men. But it feels like another reunion of coming at the men. And they feel like they need to make themselves small because if they do pipe up, then they're seen as attacking a woman. We have to go a fine line here, and I don't see much balance. A few of them have some balance, but I need Nick and Vanessa Lachey to kind of reel this in because it's starting to sound like we can't find any fault with ladies. Virginia, let me find the fault here. Let me balance the scale. Virginia, this man notably told you he had an addiction in the pods. Notably said that. And you are in the medical field. Why would you even accept his proposal? I would be running for the hills. But maybe you're just a better person than me. But that right there told me a lot and told me it'll be a lot of heavy lifting. So you got warning signs early on. Other things, warning signs from Devin that you should just have left him by the wayside. The family's thought and prospect that y'all are going to be taking care of the parents when they get older. Did the parents coming with the pig? I mean, did he and Hall by the prenup before and say, okay, I'm going to look at it, get a lawyer look at it, my mom and a trusted friend. Virginia, there was a lot of things we saw from this edited version that made Devin not so great a candidate. Devin, you are young, and I think that you haven't matured yet for what we saw to a level where you would be able to lead that household. I'm just saying, based on an edited show. I don't see at 28 that you're ready to lead and head a household with Virginia as your wife. I'm just saying, y'all seem to be not just of different, how can I say it? Not just different positions in your life, but different socioeconomic levels in your life as well that I think needed to be addressed and looked at that just not there. So there are many different things, but Virginia, you didn't have to take this man's proposal. And I'm sorry, getting your auntie. Why did auntie have to be the officiant? You knew you were going to say no. You can tell me whatever you want, but I figured you were going to say no. Sarah and Ben, y'all, let's get to the next one. Ben said he knew he had privilege when he got into this, but he hadn't thought about it that much. But Sarah pushed him to kind of think beyond that. She said she didn't think about things as much, but, you know, she can help him grow or people can grow. She said she did want open discussion and the lack of curiosity from Ben, it was an issue for her. Ben said he didn't remember the stance that his church had on gay marriage. And I'm like, he said it didn't reflect on folks in his life. But Ben, You had a young lady there in your friend group who, what did they say? She she announced that she was gay. I forgot, like gay mic drop or something like that. They said in your friends meetup. So you do have someone in your life that it impacted. So Sarah says, the TikTok makes sense now. She hoped that they could be together. She had to finish a contract out, work related, in Nashville for about 2 to 3 months, and they would live together there and come back, after she was done. She did get his apology, but it sounded performative because it was like her words thrown back at her. And she didn't hear from him after that. But she didn't respond to the apology. So I'm thinking, if he doesn't hear a response from the apology, Sarah, he's thinking you're done. You didn't even respond to say, yeah, no, thank you. You got to respond. Or is he sitting there like, okay, am I waiting for a response or is she done? She did say that he got advice from someone, from a previous cast member, that he should make nice with her before the reunion. They should get on the same page. They should practice or rehearse what they're going to say. So while Ben didn't want to say who it was, Sarah totally said out loud, it was Jimmy. Jimmy told them. Y'all remember Jimmy from Chelsea? Um, he said he had to hear that to get back to her. Why did Jimmy have to tell him something for him to then reach out to Sarah? Sarah, but you didn't reach out after his apology. You didn't even say, no, I don't accept, or yes, I accept your apology. Ben said they were broken up when she left. He cut it off, and since she didn't answer, they were broken up. She said, you dropped me and used my words in the apology. It sounded scripted. Ben kept on saying we were broken up. She said, you were going to live with me in Nashville. And Ben kept saying, we were broken up before you left. Okay? He kept saying it in different ways. I just abbreviated it. He said, since she didn't respond to the apology text, it was over. Now, Ben, were you clear with that? Did you clearly say, if you don't respond to this, it's over? So Sarah says he's not authentic, and she felt like she was love bombed by him several times. Y'all, one thing they did, because this is the 5th anniversary, they did top 5 scenes. I'm not going to do it between these things. I'm going to do it at the end just to summarize. Next up is Joey and Monica. Monica said she never said I love you, and he never said it. He didn't show it either on the day-to-day. She said you shouldn't have to tell your fiance to touch you, to want you. It was like a slap in the face and embarrassing when she watched this over. Joey said they couldn't get out the friend zone. Now, y'all remember my recap. I kept on saying they would look friend zone-ish. From the minute they met, they were friend zone-ish. Too much cackle and giggle and ha ha ha. Looked friend zone-ish. So the big reason Joey said is her sister. When Monica said that her sister was her best friend, he said family's number one for him. And since he wasn't accepted from the sister, he was like, all bets are off. Monica said watching it back, she had to have hard conversations. She said he's not into you. He's playing football and everything before the wedding. She said she has heard a lot this year about him. But Monica, okay, let's go back to the playing football at the wedding. I know different people that do different like stress relievers, like cold feet relievers before a wedding. So him tossing the ball around with his friends, it could be just something to just give off energy. Joey seems very high energy, and he needs to do something all the time. So throwing the ball with his friend, I didn't mind that. I didn't mind the longboard. I didn't mind Hawaiian shirt because that was Jimmy. Jimmy kept up exactly who he was. He never changed. And that I appreciated. That was the authentic side of Joey, sorry. The other side, I don't know. She found out that Joey DM'd Madison while they were still engaged. After the whole couples thing, everybody got together. Madison was there. Apparently, Joey sent her a DM saying, hey, cool, sorry we couldn't talk much. Love the pink hair. So Monica says she doesn't care. And if she knew at the time that she would have cut everything off. Monica, do you really not care? If you don't care, why bring it up? Why bring it up? Madison even acknowledged that they were just friends. He said, yeah, I reached out to her. And Madison said they did date in a pause, but they were just friends. Joey said he can see that this has bothered Monica. Monica says they're going to functions, acting like a married couple, and this is, this is now happening. And I'm like, girl. But she says a couple times they were physical. Joey said just once. So I need a 2-for-1 special explained to me. Monica thinks it's twice. Joey says it's once. So I guess our definition of physical is a little different. Okay? I don't know who's lying. Monica, Joey told her that Madison was coming on to him in bars. And Joey says he has no interest in Madison, but he understands Monica was worried that he had an interest in Madison. So, I mean, I'm like, how did Monica think Madison was an issue? Where did that come from? That had to have come from the pods. So she had to have known Joey was dating Madison strongly. Monica says she felt led on and the effort was not reciprocated. He's an amazing person, but not romantic as a partner. Joey says he accepts that. It was a yes or no at the wedding. He was not going to say no and date later. That is the rules of Love is Blind, y'all, if you remember. Either you say yes and you keep on as a married couple, or you say no and you are done forever. He was not dating after, so Joey was staying to the contract. He says sorry, they didn't fall in love, but he wants the best for her. Next up is Dave and Lauren. Dave said his sister didn't want to see him in a bad light on social media, yet here we are. Lauren said the way that Dave dealt with stuff, she saw that her emotional maturity was more than his. Dave agreed. Now, Lauren, I gotta ask. Was your emotional maturity more than his? I just don't get it. But Lauren says, that she has dealt with things. Okay. Dave said Lauren's amazing, and this is one thing he could not get over at the time. They saw each other at bars but did not speak. She said he sent her a thoughtful letter, and it was about the other guy. Apparently, y'all, Dave realized that the other guy was lying, or the other guy was fudging the truth, or he was just trying to insert himself into their story. So he says he's learned how to handle, having his person's back. So Lauren said, what hurt her most was they left Honduras, they had a strong connection, and then when we come back here, he believes everyone but her. Dave said it's been hard for him, and he sees that now that he has changed. Things have changed in the mind of his friends, and it's really hard watching this back. He said he was hurt, and he put himself out there, and he felt let down. So they had this weird thing. It's like, it's no fault for someone having a one-night stand and then meeting the love of their life. Everybody had to raise their hands. Y'all, bullocks, foolishness. Because everybody roasted Uche for being with Lydia 3 to 4 months before the show. Let's not forget that. Congratulations, Lydia and Milton are still married. Wonderful. But previous season, when it was Uche and Aaliyah, everyone roasted him for being with Lydia after he knew he got his letter to be on the show. So all this one night stand, this is because it's Lauren. Because I bet if Dave had done it, y'all would be roasting Dave. So don't give me this foolishness. Oh, you could. No. You're intentionally knowing you're going to find someone and be married in a month. Maybe you need to, have some self-control. Dave said he feels that she is the one that got away. Lauren says she don't feel it. She don't feel it. She says she was not there to defend herself. She was not allowed to defend herself, but he was not defending her. Now there, Lauren, I will give you that. Dave was not defending you in all of this. Dave said he did give his sister the letter, but she did not have a response. Lauren says she doesn't hate him. She doesn't like what folks are saying about him online, and he has healing to do. Now, here's my thing with the people online. Why do other people, other than Lauren, have more emotion about this than the fiancé that he broke up with? Lauren's cool with him. So I'm like, okay, Dave, you ain't cool, but I'm not giving you more fire than Lauren is. Because she was your fiancé and she's the wronged party. I'm going to be chill with it. But Lauren, you should have known Dave wasn't it. You should have known Dave wasn't it. The whole thing in the pods, Dave showed you he wasn't it. Dave couldn't make up his mind. You had to push him. he couldn't make up his mind to break up with Molly. You should have known Dave was not making his own decision. His family said he makes reckless decisions. This is your leader? Girl, you should have known. This man wasn't it. So Molly said some of his lies were hard to watch because he was telling her that she was his number one, many times reassuring her. And clearly she wasn't. Now, Molly, cut the cap. Cut the cap. Because sometimes people do have a number one today, and then by the next date, it's somebody else. You were number one at the time. Come on now. Said he could have done more for Lauren in the relationship. That I agree with Molly. Molly said she was dating. She was dating, she was dating, but she had a hate for men for the year, so she's working on that. And she would not say no to having a girlfriend. Now, y'all, why I brought this up is because I have the Carlton reference, okay? The Carlton reference is that when Carlton, in season 1, said he was more open to being fluid, people roasted him on Diamond's behalf. So now we have Molly saying, oh, well, yeah, I didn't like, I like Dave, but I could be with a lady now. Now we're not going to roast her. She came on Love is Blind. Okay. Y'all are giving me double standard constantly. So Mason and Meg, they came. They are best friends. They tried dating a little bit, but it didn't work. They will be in each other's lives, which is going to be great. Madison says Alex told her that they were dating, that Meg and Mason were dating, and he was funny about it, but they deserved each other. Madison, you were also talking funky because when you broke up with Mason in the pods, you walked into the ladies' lounge and said, breakups taste good. Let's not forget that. You were mic'd up on camera. Y'all, I'm not going to cover what Alex has to say in this reunion. He shouldn't have been there, in my thoughts, with all the stuff swooping around there. But I'm sure Netflix will say these are all allegations and there have been no convictions. So Madison says things change drastically in the pods. It can be one person over another person each date. Could you tell that to Molly? Could you give that message to Molly? She wanted him to be more honest, meaning Mason. Meg said you just called him manipulating in an interview. Madison goes on, she tried to tell Mason that they each had better connections with other people. That's when he committed to her. And she wanted to be honest for Meg. I'm like, honest for Meg? You had to get him to be honest for Meg's? Girl, stay out of their relationship. Madison says she was giving him an out. Didn't sound like that. Mason said he felt pressure to commit to her. She's like, I didn't tell you. He's like, I felt pressure. He said he thought he was in a relationship with someone and he opened his heart. He takes full accountability for his actions in the pods. Meg goes on to say that she has a right to be mad because both Mason and Madison played her. She got screwed by them both. She says, you had Alex as a number one, Madison, the whole time. So why are you so upset with Mason? Madison feels it's unfair to speak on her behalf. They were both dating two people. But you were okay speaking on Meg's behalf, right, Madison? Because you went in there and told Meg, I told Mason he could lose both of us. And Meg told you, don't speak for her. You shouldn't have said that. So now it's unfair to speak on somebody's behalf. Okay, Madison. She says she's tired of women falling on a sword doing what men do. What do you mean, doing what men do? You mean dating two people and having them on either side, number one, number two, changing up? Because you clearly said Alex was your number one the whole time. I'm confused. Doing what? Just dating two people? There's dating two people in the pods, which is acceptable. And there's leading people along. We all saw you, Madison, leading Mason to water. That's why when he said you thought he was smart enough to be manipulating, I chuckled because you clearly were manipulating him. So Madison said it was a close race between Mason and Alex. She said she was not enjoying the breakup like they were saying. Again, we saw you on camera saying breakups taste good. So if you weren't enjoying it, why would you say it tastes good? Okay? Y'all, once again, I am not referencing anything that Alex has said in this reunion. Yes, they had it there, but I'm refusing to talk about him. Okay? Meg said that Madison lied and said she broke up with Alex, when clearly it was Alex that broke up with her. Madison's like she never said it. She said, but Alex is not your friend. Now, y'all, we also saw this reunion. AD from previous season of Love is Blind and Ollie from Love is Blind UK come out. They are on The Perfect Match season 3. Turns out they were doing a promo, and at the promo, Ollie proposed and AD said yes. We are going to congratulate this couple. We don't know what their season of Perfect Match will turn out to be, but do I care at this point? No, because they're having a happy ending by being engaged. So don't care to watch, but you can. So, y'all, the top 5, which I find is controversial because I don't like half of them. The top 5 moments in Love is Blind history were as follows. Number 5, Chelsea saying that she looked like Megan Fox. We could all chuckle here. Number 4 is Taylor and Garrett at the reunion and their fashion sense. Number 3 was Jeremy being called out for not being where he said he was when he was actually with Sarah Ann. Number 2 is Lauren and Cameron's reveal. And number 1 was Jimmy and the EpiPen comment that Jessica made. Now, that one certainly, but the rest I could find others. Like Brett and Tiffany when Tiffany fell asleep. Like Kwame when he was crying over the breakup with Micah. There's a ton of other stuff that we could put in there. But I digress. I want to thank you so much for joining me for Love is Blind, Minnesota. We know we're heading to Denver next. Maybe the same, maybe not, but I'll definitely be there for it. And I hope you will join me also for Season 2 of Love is Blind, Sweden. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.